5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 Performance.
Welcome back to the In and Out Talks podcast, guys. Your guest here, Mitch Matulia. Today's special guest is Gabe Solis. A little bit about Gabe, Houstonian native, played college ball, owner and founder of Solis Performance Training, and also the Blueprint podcast with Gabe and Tuck. We got a lot to cover today, guys. This is an exciting one. Gabe, welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you having me on. As you said, we have a podcast ourselves. I think when you reached out and said you wanted to do a podcast, and I know that we're in the same world, so I'm all for it to get some information out there.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate you taking the time with Jordan and I today. A lot to cover. First and foremost, man, just for our audience out there, man, a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and how you got to where you're at today.
Okay, so I grew up in Houston. Kind of an interesting upbringing, but very grateful for it. I was actually homeschooled from the time I started school till my sophomore year of high school, which was a cool experience. My family traveled a lot, which was really cool. I think by the time I was 15, I had visited 12 countries.
Wow.
So culturally diverse in that sense. But then from there, my life changed when I went to Lamar High School. Mm-hmm. Completely changed, different. It was just a different world. I went from, 6 kids in the class to 50. But nonetheless, it was really good. That's where I initially wanted to go to Lamar because of baseball, because the homeschool scene just wasn't competitive at all. So I went to Lamar, made some lifelong friends. It was a good place to be. From there, I went to San Jac, played 2 years. San Jac to me is one of the best junior colleges in the country. I still work with them a lot. I want to say out of our draft picks, I think 80% of them have gone to San Jac. Wow. So pretty much all of my draft picks that I've had since I've been open have gone to San Jac. So we're really close with them. From there, I went to K-State. I hurt my back, my fall at K-State, and then I came home, and I officially started Solis Performance December 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had been doing stuff in the summers prior, but 2017 December is when it was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Let's go forward, and let's not look back.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And Jordan and I, we always get excited whenever we bring a baseball guy on because we just love talking ball.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of the same people too. Houston baseball scene being kind of a close-knit community, and so about your facility that you started, man, like you guys specialize in sports performance training from middle schoolers all the way to the professional level. Yeah. And man, how's that been so far?
It's been good. Our youngest client is 8. Our oldest client is 32. So I really started backwards. Usually when you start out in this profession, you start out with younger kids and then you build your way up. I had such a good relationship with San Jac. I started with my San Jac guys. So I started with some super good dudes. I started with some SEC guys. I was just fortunate enough that they believed in what I was teaching, and we were able to go forward. My first draft, we had 5 guys drafted. The second year, we had 9 guys drafted. And so we've had guys drafted every year since we've been open. But so I went junior college. So I went high school, junior college first. Mm-hmm. Then those junior college kids turned pro. Then we had a pretty good little pro group. And then from there, I just transitioned into middle school about really a year ago. Wow. So I kind of went backwards, and there's no one right way to do it. I'm fortunate it happened that way. I love working with kids, but I think if I would have worked with just, a bunch of middle schoolers for the first 2 years, it would have wore me out for sure. But I'm thankful now that we have a pretty healthy middle school group in there, and they're some of my favorite kids to watch train for sure.
Absolutely. And like you, dude, I really appreciate you giving me the tour of SP earlier this year. And it's an impressive facility in Edo, Houston. For those of you out there who are in the Houston area, man, I would highly recommend doing your in-season and off-season training there. And the vibes are great. Just having those professionals around, I think, and college guys, it motivates the younger kids.
Oh, without a doubt. And like, I tell my pro kids, like, guys, I know I'm not asking you to take a kid to the side without him asking and teaching him your slider. But if a kid comes up to you, you know, be nice. And I've been so fortunate to have a pro group that is extremely, extremely, extremely nice. Like, they'll take one of my college kids and like work with him on the mound. Like, stuff like that is just so important. We have a kid named Evan right now who's transitioning back from knee surgery, and he was with the pro group all spring and all fall. And he called me and he thanked me for letting him be a part of that group. And I joked with him because I love joking with Evan. I was like, it wasn't my idea. I went against it. The other guys wanted to let you in. Of course I let him in. And he's like, I just learned so much from being around them. I was like, I'm curious, like what? He's like, the level of intensity every single day that they bring is insane. He's like, I will never play catch how I used to after playing catch with Reed Morgan, who's in AA for the Mariners. I was like, cool, keep telling me. He's like, every single pitch Reed throws from the time he warms up is full intent, full focus. Like, he is playing catch to get better. He's like, I just went the last 10, 15 years of my life just playing catch to play catch. He's like, that couple weeks I got to play catch with them changed my perspective on why they are pros. I was like, that's pretty powerful stuff.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
And like, to think that a lot of these young guys, I think, are so raw, they've never been properly coached, or they've never been properly guided in that manner, man. Like Jordan and I, we get kids all the time. They're in high school, and we're like, man, we really, really wish we would have got you guys when you were 10, 12, because you guys, we had to fix all the bad habits and then reinforce the good ones. And sometimes it takes a little bit extra time.
For sure. And that's kind of what, you know, me and some of my mentors talk about in long-term athletic development. You know, if you get a kid and you just have them specialize in baseball at 8, 10 years old, they're going to create bad habits. I'd rather that kid go play basketball, football. You know, were you a 2-sport athlete?
4.
You? 3. And I think parents nowadays are like, let's get them started with baseball early. But you get a kid started only on baseball at 8, he has no clue. He can't tell the difference between his left arm and his right foot. Like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So you keep swinging, 6, 7 days a week, you're going to create some kind of bad habits. Versus just like, hey, we're going to go play this sport. Yeah, here's the tee. Swing as hard as you can. You know?
100%. The best athletes are the best baseball players.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that goes without a doubt, because it's like the fine motor skills you learn in the other sports all attribute to baseball. And like, if you're a really good ball player, you're a great athlete at all those other sports. You know what I mean? But try to take like just a football player and try to put him in baseball. It's a whole different story, right? Like, I mean, I had some teammates in college, or some buddies in college on the football team. They try to play slow pitch softball. They look like an infant, you know.
Yeah.
Like but they'd be the starting running back at a Division I school, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy, man, because the whole baseball world's changed since you and I played.
Yeah.
And especially the select scene, the perfect game scene, right? Like, they're pushing tournaments year round at age 5, 6 now, which that didn't exist. We didn't play select ball tour 9, 10.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts? What are your opinions on how early should a kid ideally start select ball?
Man, so this is, I hope all my middle school kids watch this. My middle school parents, actually. So it's been a debate in my gym for a while. So I had all my pros make a small clip. I'll send it to you. It's basically, it's a compilation of about 10 of my pro guys stating their name, and stating how many sports they played. 100% of my professional baseball players, 100% were dual sport athletes or 3-sport athletes in middle school. Mm-hmm. And then 75% of them were dual sport athletes in high school.
Yep.
And I sent that to my middle school parents. I was like, look,
That's...
I'm done. Watch this video.
Right.
And so I was having a conversation with a parent, and he's like, oh, we play year round. And I said, that's so wrong to me in a multitude of reasons. Because one, if my 31-year-old pitcher can take a month off of throwing, why can't your 12-year-old son take a month off of throwing? Like,
absolutely.
What's going on here?
Right.
Or there's no games in December. Like, oh, we're playing all the way till December. I'm like, why? So one of them brought up an idea, or not an idea. He was like, well, in the Dominican, they don't do dual sports. They play year round. I said, yes, correct. But in the Dominican Republic, their focus is on practice, not games. I said, example A, I have a guy who I used to train who's a coach in the Dominican Republic League for the Reds. And I asked him how many games they played. And he said they only played like 60 to 70 games. I was like, that's like a college season. Like, why? He's like, well, in Dominican Republic, we focus more on development, ground balls, all this stuff, and games take second to that. And I said, that's where United States has it backwards. We think we're going to catch up to them by playing a bunch of games. It's the other way around. We're not taking any time to fully develop. We're just playing games. And at the end of the day, like, if I'm 13 years old and I'm playing at a 54-foot mound, me seeing high velocity at that does nothing for me, because he's going to move back to 60 feet, mm-hmm. and it's going to be a whole different ball game. Yep. So competition to me doesn't really matter until you're, I would say, 13 summer, once you move to 60, 90, or 14, 15, 16, because I truly believe the difference between a freshman playing on JV or playing on the sophomore team is physicality.
Yes.
Like, if you've been doing everything you should be doing, taking ground balls, hitting, et cetera, the fundamentals should be there. It's the physicality. We have a kid right now, super nice kid. Dad played ball. Skinny. Swing looks great. Mm-hmm. Throwing looks great. But when he hits it, it doesn't go anywhere because he's so weak, And I try to tell my parents, I'm like, you're putting your effort in the wrong place. I said, he's training year round, but we never, as trainers, we can never get a actual strength block with this kid because he's playing every weekend. How am I going to push this kid's nervous system with a hypertrophy block to build some kind of muscle when he's playing year round?
Yes.
I said, look at a pro season. Like, let's start from the time they leave us. They leave us in March. They're working out 2-3 times a week. The second they get back in September, October, we'll push them 5 days a week, hypertrophy, building some kind of muscle endurance. Then we'll go, that's month 1, strength, power. Right before they leave, I said, if you want to be a pro, why not train like a pro? And I think parents don't understand that they can train, their kids can train like that up until they get to college. Once you get to college, everything, you go on and play summer ball, like this and that, da-da-da.
Correct.
But from the ages 8 to, 18, you should calculate your lifts for sure.
Yeah. And I tell parents all the time the same thing. I'm like, guys, when your kids are 6 or 7 years old, coach pitch is coach pitch.
Yeah.
Whether it be on a select team that you're going to Florida or just in your local little league, get in for one-on-one instructions. Get in for training. Strengthen your body. Learn how to eat right. Learn how to take care of yourself. Those are the things that are going to separate yourself as an athlete at that age. And then, like you said, I guess 9, 10 would be like ideally, 10 to 12 would be ideally the time to maybe get on a select team. But if you're playing every weekend, you're only getting maybe like 20 swings on a weekend, like in 4 games.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So it's like, why not get hundreds or thousands of swings by playing every few weeks? Once,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think there's a reason to do a tournament every weekend.
No, absolutely not. And I think I made a joke the other day to my parents. I said, if I was the president of the United States, I would make playing select baseball in December illegal.
Yes.
And whoever played was getting thrown in jail. He didn't like that too much. But these select teams are playing in December because just like what you and I do, we're a business, right? And the more times the kids come see me, the more money I make.
Right.
Same thing with them, but I take a little bit of a different approach. I do recognize that the more times kids come see us, the more money we make, but it's all about the kid. It's not about my business. If I look at the kid and truly have what's best interest for him, my business is going to grow in itself. These select ball teams are just thinking about their organization, not really caring about the kids. That's why you see new organizations pop up every freaking weekend, and you see organizations sink every weekend because they're thinking about the wrong thing.
It's a money grab.
It's a money grab, yeah.
And that's why exactly what I tell parents too. I'm like join a team, join an organization that their sole priority is not winning tournaments.
100%.
It's developing the individual athlete because
Yeah.
winning doesn't matter until you get to college and professional level. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean?
And
like,
then once you get to the pros, it's about development.
it's about development of the minors, and that's coming from a Cincinnati Reds area scout.
Yeah,
You know
it's,
what I mean?
it's literally
You deal with
about
athletes all the
development.
you deal with pro athletes all the time.
Yeah.
And good organizations, the best major league teams have the best farm system, have the best development at that level. You know, we had a buddy of ours who was drafted by the Angels, for example, and he goes, "Dude, their development's awful," and it shows in
Yeah.
their major league team, right? Like, it all starts from the top, and the Rays are probably the greatest example of developing in the farm system. Like, they have
Yeah.
the second to last payroll in the big leagues. They amaze me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy what they do.
Yeah, everything they do from top to bottom. I mean, even their draft is calculated. They're very, very, very analytical. But yeah, it starts with development. I think me and Owen Holt, who's one of my favorite athletes of all time, were talking about it. I was like, how would you structure your kids' like year? And I need to get him on my podcast. Super cool story. Played baseball and was a quarterback at Lamar High School. Went to Harvard as a QB. Thumb injury, surgery first year. Second year, got beat out by the guy that played the year prior when he got hurt. So his sophomore spring semester, 2019, he calls me. I know no one. I was 4 years older than him. He's like, "Yo, Gabeski, I'm thinking about making a comeback to baseball." I was like, "Cool. When's the last time you threw a baseball?" He's like, "Senior year of high school, our last game." I'm like,
Last game.
I was like, tough. I
Yeah.
was like, "Why don't you fly down? We'll do an assessment, etc." Did a weighted ball assessment that I run my guys through. Had a bunch of power, obviously, because of the football. Was lacking arm speed. Long story short, this kid was with me all fall 2019 from summer to the fall. Goes to Harvard in the spring. Wins the Saturday job. Is 90-93, 90-94 first outing against Alabama. 2020, everyone was like, "Who the hell is this kid?" Yeah. Next outing, I fly out to Florida to go see him. 90-93, 94. Then his dad, I'm sitting next to his dad in a little Italian restaurant in Florida, and it's like, what's this COVID thing? You ever heard about this, Gabe? I was like, no, I don't watch the news. And he's like, I think the whole country's shutting down. And I was like, I still don't watch the news.
Yeah.
And so, I see it to believe it. Don't believe it. So I go back to Houston. COVID shuts down. Owen is able to train with my pro guys that also got sent home from the minor leagues from April to December. Like, that development was insane for Owen as a pitcher because he had just started pitching again. So this is where it gets a little crazy. So then, sorry, taking you on a tangent. So then they come out and they bang the college football season for Ivy Leagues. And I was like, hey, they might shorten y'all's season. And I said, if they do, you need to look at other options. And they're like, the parents were like, what options? No, the dad, Rice undergrad, Harvard grad school, mom, Harvard grad school. I said, I think your son should go to Alvin Junior College.
Yes.
They were like,
Mind explode. Mind exploded.
they were like, yeah, they're like,
His mom's Asian. He knows.
Yeah, dude. He's
He
like,
knows.
yeah. And they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, trust me. So December 6th or whatever, they come on and say they're only playing like 25 games in the Ivy League. I'm like, dude, if you want to get drafted, you can't do that in 25 games. You need to go to Alvin, da-da-da. He finds a way to dual enroll. So he's taking 12 hours online at Harvard, 12 hours at Alvin. 24 hours.
Wow.
The kid, this will tell you everything you need to know about the kid. I told him specifically, and I don't tell this to a lot of kids. I don't tell this to anybody, actually. I said, do not open your Alvin classes. I was like, no one will ever see that transcript.
Right.
That transcript is not going to be on your Harvard transcript because you're dual enrolling. Those hours, essentially, when you finish at Alvin, will never be seen. I said, do not open those. He opened them, made like a 4.0. It was like children's book to him.
Right.
And he ended up making a 3.7 or something crazy at Harvard. Pitches that year, gets drafted by the Reds. He's in AA for the Reds right now.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but he is a very big advocate of let your kids play a bunch of sports. Like,
Yes.
he's like, let them play, let them play. Like, I was like, give me your perfect year. He's like, honestly, like, I would factor in like baseball, track, and like football for mindset, and then like soccer for footwork. He's like, if I had a kid and I would just boom, 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 footwork, soccer, mindset, football, run through someone's fucking chest.
Especially in the mindset. Of
Yeah.
football, dude. You
Yeah.
gotta be mentally tough. to play
Yeah,
this game.
like you, yeah.
Beat you down and get up.
I got one for you. So
Exactly.
I started training Muay Thai last year.
Nice.
I would recommend combat sports.
You know what's funny?
Martial arts, track and field, baseball.
Owen does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So he's like begging me. He's like, dude, let's go to Brazil. Like, we have an off-season Brazil with Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Owen, you'd laugh if you saw this, man. He like, all right, like we're throwing pens. Like all the pros are throwing pens. Everyone's warming up. Owen's literally throwing kicks.
Yeah.
He's like throwing kicks everywhere. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The proprioception you get with your feet is just like crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm starting jiu-jitsu up probably next year.
Nice.
So, dude, maybe we can do that
Yeah,
together.
that'd be
'cause
fun. But yeah. Dual sport athlete, it matters, man.
It matters. And then also it prevents burnout. I remember like Jordan and I had our best seasons. He would come join our baseball team right after basketball playoffs, miss our first 2 tournaments of the season, and come bat 2-hole for us. I was batting 3-hole, and like we'd go back to back. You know what I mean?
And that coordination with basketball is insane. Like,
I was in perfect shape. Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't have the.
Yeah,
I
the
ran all
strength,
my
yeah.
muscle off. So.
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
you get faster in football. You get faster in basketball. I mean, it's
just like one of my, like we were talking about earlier, one of my best friends, Walker Pennington, who had a crazy college career. TCU World Series, freshman year, sophomore year, San Jac World Series, A&M World Series.
that's stupid.
Yeah, 3 out of his 4 years in college went to a World Series, but his hand-eye coordination was insane. Like,
Yeah.
he had one of the best years at San Jac. I think he had 14 or 13 pumps with 385. And I was like, Walker, what do you do? He's like, I just go to the rec and play basketball. Like, I was like, I played AAU growing up until,
Yeah.
so obviously this is an extreme, so don't take this at, but I was at Reds camp last year and I was sitting down with one of my former athletes, Aaron Bond, who's a coach for them now. And Eric Davis comes and sits by us. Eric Davis obviously played in the big leagues for, I don't know, a long time. I think over 16 years. But lefty athletic, and we're chatting with him. And he's like, yeah, I didn't pick up a bat until like literally spring training. We're like, what'd you do all off season? He's like, I just played basketball.
Yes.
Obviously, that's an extreme.
Right.
I don't recommend that. But like at the end of the day, like the better athlete you are, the easier it is for me to teach you hitting. The easier it is for me to teach you pitching. The easier it is. Like it all starts in the weight room. Like we can talk about it for years. It all starts in athletic development. I can teach a kid how to pitch better if he has some sort of body awareness. If he doesn't have any body awareness, it's going to be tough.
100%. And what age do you recommend that they start like athletic training and start like lifting weights or start like eating correctly and learning the knowledge behind that?
I think eating correctly should start pretty young because that's all habit. I think if you're a bad eater, it's only going to be harder and harder to change the older you get. Because when you're young, when you're 8, when you're 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, you eat what your parents give you. Like,
right.
You know, you're going to accustom to whatever they give you. Like, if you're just accustomed of eating really healthy, like, you'll be fine. But I think that part starts early. I think the youngest we go is 8, and it's like 45 minutes, and it's let's run around, like, get tired, like, do some footwork stuff, maybe do, like, some push-ups, etc. Weightlifting probably won't start until they're 12, 13. And from there, it's like a lot of body weight, kettlebell stuff. But we're always chasing angles, positions in running, and movement. I think for our younger kids, that's really all we're chasing.
Yeah.
And then lifting comes after that. So lifting comes second to coordination, learning how to run, core, et cetera, but I think it all matters. I think if I had a kid right now, I'd obviously have him play every single sport, but I'd have him go into like a facility at 8 or 9, like twice a week, and just like slowly, but like start learning how to sprint. Mm-hmm. Like start on his acceleration phase of his sprint. Then he gets a little older, we get a little stronger. All right, let's work on this second half of the sprint and kind of just progress it from there. Yeah.
You said something really important to me. Emphasize on athleticism and speed before weights.
Yeah.
I did the exact opposite. So, I mean, like, I was always a great athlete, but then when I started lifting weights in high school, I stopped stretching, I stopped running.
Yeah.
It made me less athletic overall, you know, and I think a lot of... He'd always tell me, he goes, dude, stretch at night will make you taller, you'll grow a couple inches. I still didn't listen to him. I stayed like 5'9". I was like, damn it. I was like, if I was just 5'11", I'd be in the league right now. Thanks so much. Yeah, and I was just like, okay, so all these, you know, every high school kid wants to get jacked, right? But it's like, you got to do it incrementally. You got to do it the correct way. I don't want you to gain 25 pounds in a year. That does you zero good.
Yeah.
Because I went from running a 6'7" to a 7'1". Like, it was bad.
And that's my thing, like, in scouting and being around baseball for a while, like, you got to do what your profile fits. Like, at the end of the day, we look for athleticism. We look for shortstop, second, center fielders because they can play anywhere on the field. And we know that that left fielder that hit 15 might not hit that much in the minor leagues. Like, power is hard.
Right.
Now it's a little bit, you know, because of the launch angle, you see more power numbers, you also see more Ks. But I tell kids, like, you got to play your role. Like, if you're a shortstop, and you don't run a sub 6'7",
you're not even going to get the time of day.
You're not going to get the time of day.
No.
But if you're a third baseman, you better hit some pumps, right? Like, I think it's tailored to, it's just like football. Like, it's tailored to the position. Like, if you're a linebacker, like, we're going to squat, we're going to clean, we're going to create force from the ground up so you can impose your will on somebody. Versus a tiny little receiver like Tank Dell.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to load him up with, you know, a 500-pound deadlift, right? Like, we got to keep him springy. So I think that's pretty big too, you know. What position do you play? Like, we have a guy, at Lamar High School who's an absolute just specimen. Like, this kid is a specimen. Like, just wow. We started working with him his 7th grade year. Immediately brought a 60 down. Like, he was playing summer ball, like going everywhere, USA ball. Like, we worked with him a handful of times, and we brought a 60 down like that. I was like, this kid's special. I got reminded how special this kid was not too long ago because he played the whole season. He's a sophomore. He's been on varsity since he was a freshman at Lamar, batting 3-4 hole. Jeez. Committed to A&M before he stepped foot on campus at Lamar. He was like a 6'6" kind of guy, 6'7" kind of guy, which is still pretty good.
Going into high school? Or going
into high school, he was like a 6'8" guy in his 8th grade year, flying. Then, right now, he's 16, 200 pounds, just like, I'll show you a picture after.
Yeah.
Right? He's huge. Just all muscle. I talked to his dad. I was like, let's get the tournament schedule. Let's see when he's going to start playing. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, we need to work on his jumps. Area code was June, or he had a perfect game right before area code, like the first week of June. So, you know, high school season ended first week of May. I kid you not. We probably worked with him on starts maybe 5 times. Maybe. Like, touched it. Mm-hmm. He ran a 6'4". He went from a 6'6" to 6'4" like that, which is like unheard of.
Right.
And when I first heard it, I was like, is that hand time or is that laser? It was laser. I was like, all right, this kid's legit. This is at a perfect game on lasers.
As a 16-year-old?
Yeah, a 16-year-old. And just built, but he's freaking massive. But that kid works hard, man. Like, during the season, so January he'll lift 4 times a week. February starts tournament ball. He'll lift 3 times a week. But this is what a lot of kids don't see. Once district play starts, they only play twice a week. He's lifting 4 times a week.
Yep.
The competition isn't that good. He knows summer ball is important. He knows the players are important. Like, that kid's in there at 6:15 in the morning 4 times a week lifting in season because you only play twice a week.
Right.
So, like, what I wish parents would realize is there's a time and place where the dosage needs to go up, dosage needs to cut down, dosage needs to go up, dosage needs to come down. And when you're younger, when your kids are 8 to 14, you are the boss of how to manipulate that. Once you get to high school season, you got to play. Summer ball. You're probably going to play fall ball too, go to tournaments in Florida, Jupiter, etc. But from ages 8 to 14, you can manipulate that. You can manipulate your son's schedule.
Yeah.
You don't have to go play in 12 to 20 tournaments a year. Because once they get into high school, you're not manipulating their schedule. Their schedule's set. Mm-hmm. Like, it's set. Like, you know, our guys have their summer ball schedule in, like, March. And it's set for the whole summer. Like, it's set. That's it. That is what it is. So I think parents don't realize, like, take advantage of this time that you have right now to manipulate your child's schedule to where training takes precedent.
And you need to learn to train the right way. And like, so you go to SP and it's just like the little things that you learn just with your running form. Nobody knows how to run perfectly right out of the womb. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be taught how to run. You have to be taught like your stride length, your arm pump, everything, man. Like, where you position your body. I mean, that's crucial. And that can literally take milliseconds off your 60 and inevitably like get you a college scholarship or, you know, that can be the difference between getting scouted, not getting scouted.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And my mentor, I've been fortunate to have this guy by my side since I was 17. His name is Lauren Lando. He's currently the strength coach for Notre Dame. He was the strength coach for the Broncos for the last 5 years. He has a facility out in Denver. And we're talking about something, and he snapped his finger. I said, "What's that?" He goes, "That's the difference between a 4.4 and a 4.5." He's like, "That's the difference between one of my guys making millions and not making millions in this draft." He's like, That. He's like, "That's why we're always chasing that."
Yes.
That's it. He's always chasing movement, speed. Yeah, because it's important. Like, it's important.
It's a game of inches. I mean, like, that can eventually.
It's a bang bang play.
It's a
versus,
bang bang
like,
play.
I'm safe.
Correct.
Which is like my season's alive versus it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And like,
Super technical.
and then also what I wanted to get into as well is like, what do you recommend for kids who are underdeveloped at the high school level, looking to play collegiately, turning to junior colleges? And the
I
importance of that?
personally love junior college.
Yes.
I think junior colleges back in the day were important, but I think they're more important now because of the transfer portal.
Yes.
The transfer portal is just, it's like the Wild West. So high school kids need to realize this. If I'm a Division I coach and season's over, transfer portal open June 3rd this year, 3rd or 4th, if I'm a college coach, I'm hitting the portal first, seeing what other D1 guys are out there. I'm going to snag those if I like those. If I don't like those guys, I'm going JUCO. Mm-hmm. If I don't like JUCO, I'm going high school. So high school kids are bottom tier of the recruiting level, unless you're a big donkey that throws 92, 94.
Right.
I have a kid right now at a high school down the street, sub 6'5", threw 96 from the outfield, can't sniff a D1 offer. Every single D1 that's talked to him was like, dude, like, we're just going to raid the portal. We're going to find somebody that can do that with experience. And so what I'm telling my high school kids, I said, look, guys, if you don't look the part, if I'm a D1 coach, why would I go, like, let's say you're 5'9", 180 catcher. Why would I bring you in and have to put, or like, let's say you're 5'9", 170 catcher. Why would I bring you in and have to put 20 pounds on you to get ready to play when I can go in the portal and already get a guy that's 5'9", 190 that's played? The development-wise, why would I go spend time on you, on a high school kid? That's why I think high school kids need to focus on summer ball, training, et cetera, everything. But also look at the JUCO route now more than ever, because unless you're a guy like the guy I have at Lamar, Judson Dow, who commits to A&M his 8th grade year, like, it's hard to get recruited. Right now, it is hard. The portal is just throwing a wrench in everything.
And not to mention that kid's probably also going to get drafted. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like the specimens out of high school who could go play D1 freshman year are probably going to get drafted.
It's funny you say that. So I was talking that to, I forgot who I was talking to that about. It might have been Owen, because Owen like loves JUCO. And I said, if I have a kid, and someone asked me, would you let your kid go to an SEC school? I said, depends. They're like, on what? I said, is my kid a top 5 round draft pick out of high school? And they're like, yes. I said, sure, he can go to SEC. And they're like, what if he's not? I said, no, he's not going to SEC. And they're like, why? It's like, because freshmen that play at SEC schools are kids that turned down money in the draft.
Yeah.
Kids that could have gone first to 10 round, or that had a lot of draft attention. Those are the kids that play in SEC baseball. If my kid is not doing that, then he's going junior college route.
Yes.
Because also what parents don't realize, and when I tell them, they're like, what? You can get drafted after your freshman year out of junior college and your sophomore year and your junior year. So if you go to a D1 right off the bat, let's say you don't play your freshman year, all that means is your sophomore year you need to go crazy, and your junior year you need to go crazy as well.
Yeah.
If you go to junior college, you're giving yourself essentially 4 chances to get drafted. Your freshman year at JUCO, your sophomore year at JUCO, your junior year at your D1 or D2 or whatever, or your senior year. That's 4 chances, versus if you go to D1 off the bat, you're giving yourself 2 chances.
Yeah.
Junior year, senior year. And if you mess up your junior year,
You're not getting drafted.
yeah, or you're getting drafted
Or you're a
your
free
senior
agent.
year for nothing.
For nothing.
And at that point, it's like, well, dang, I should have gone to junior college and had 150 ABs.
And when you take into account like from the academic standpoint, junior college isn't very challenging for a student athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, you're focused solely on baseball.
It's crazy. You're focused solely on baseball, training, games. Like we have a kid right now, awesome kid. His name's Cade Climbing. Remember the name. He's a great kid. We started working with him senior year of high school, hit one pump that year, committed to A&M, goes to Temple instead because A&M was returning their guy, didn't get drafted. Goes to Temple, hits like 375 with 8 pumps. A&M texts him back. Mm-hmm. He was at A&M this past fall. Exit meeting, you're not going to play that much, etc. Sophomore year, big year. He realized, okay, I have the chance to go be on an Omaha team, but not play as much as I should, or I can go back to JUCO and go crazy. Obviously, I was like, you're going JUCO, like, yes. You have to be selfish, like,
yes,
you have to. I was like, if you're a senior, like, sure, go to Omaha, but when you're young in your baseball career, you have to be selfish. Goes to Blinn Junior College, 395 with 20, wins the Junior College World Series, MVP at the Junior College World Series, hits 5 pumps, commits to U of H. Like, that's because he was selfish.
Right.
That's because he knew what junior college could provide. So these kids that get caught up in D1 or die, yes, you should shoot for the sky. But these junior colleges, man, are getting pretty good. Like I said, my 2 years at San Jac, out of 8 pitchers, 7 got drafted and 2 made debuts. Like SEC players everywhere, If you could play at a junior college level in a good conference, you could play anywhere.
Especially in Texas. And so,
without a doubt.
And so you have like a 50-game fall, right? And you have a 50-game spring. So you're playing like 100 games a year at JUCO?
Literally, like, you think about it, it's like pro ball in a sense. Like, you're going to play 50 games, but you're also going to have time to practice, train. My first practice at San Jac my freshman year was a 4-hour inter squad. Dying.
So you hit BP before that, right?
Yeah,
like you're practicing before the inter squad.
Yeah, literally. And so it's literally pro ball. Like, we just did an hour and a half of BP and then a 4-hour. We were here for 5 hours. We just did more in one day than D1s can do in a week with their team because of the hour rule. Like,
you have no choice but to get better.
You have zero choice but to get better. Like,
or leave.
Or leave, yeah. And so I think that's what a lot of parents also don't understand is, like, once you get to D1, like in the fall, they don't spend as much time that's individual. Yeah, you're not allowed to. It's hours. So it's like 30 minutes here, versus once you go to JUCO, it's like, dude, I remember one time it's like 100 degrees outside. And we literally took 7 rounds of 7 in BP. We have 50 guys. That's the longest BP of my life. But it's just like, where else, what other D1 are you going to get 7 rounds of 7 in BP?
Yeah.
Like, on the field, you just can't.
Going to a D1, you have to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get extra work in, you have to do it on your own time. But guess what? You're also trying to balance out a social life, school. I mean, if you're a business or an engineer major, like,
you don't have time.
You're not going to have time for something, you know what I mean? And usually that's like it's wild.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of JUCO. I think for a lot of reasons, I think it's good. But like I said, it just gives kids the chance to bridge that gap, like, not a lot of kids, like the kids that are committed to big time D1s, like, look at their bodies. They look different.
They're developed. Like, they don't, like, that 18-year-old kid doesn't look like a friggin' 18-year-old kid. No.
Like, Judson Dow doesn't look like a 16-year-old kid. He looks like a 19-year-old SEC freshman, and he's 16. Like, look at those kids. Like, if you really want your kid to commit early, he needs to look the part. Unless he's a 6'2", lanky righty pitcher, lefty pitcher that could just sling it back, you gotta look the part.
Right.
Like if you don't look the part,
it was like a rude awakening seeing like Bryce Harper on the Sports Illustrated
Yeah,
cover
16.
at 16. I was like, I'm only a couple years younger than that, but I don't look. I'm like half his size.
yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
this is
yeah,
ridiculous. And I know he's a phenom, he's an exception, right? But that's how almost developed you got to be these days to go play SEC baseball your freshman year.
Oh, without a doubt. And like, I recommend this to any parent that has a kid. I think you really start paying attention to like, oh wow, like, damn, like that guy's body looks different. Like probably 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
But any parent that has a kid that's 11 to 18 too late. If you haven't started lifting by 18, I really hope you're good at SAT or ACT. But really from like 11 to 15, like that period where you can really lock in, go to spring training. Every year at spring training, I am amazed from the bodies there. They are massive. I went this year with Tuck, who does podcasts with me, and Mac, who's our head trainer at the gym. And we're sitting there, we're watching the Reds warm up, big league squad, and they come out. And Mac's a big dude. Mac's 6'3", 215. And these guys walk by us, and I literally go, I am never doing cardio again. I'm just going to lift.
Yeah.
And this guy, and Mac, my head guy, goes, I've never felt so bad about my body in my life. Like, these guys are huge
Specimens.
They're professional athletes. They look the part. Like everyone, other sports are like, oh, you can be fat and like play like, okay, like Bartolo Colon retired 4 years ago. Like, come on. Like,
that doesn't exist today.
Yeah.
Everybody's bodies are changing.
Well,
Yeah.
And everyone's learning how to take care of their bodies off the
Yeah.
field. I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's like they're eating really quality foods from ages 10.
The freaks are like knowing runners in their time. Like, how do they throw?
Yeah, that's
Right.
insane.
That's
Yeah,
just
like,
God-given.
That's crazy. Like, he is shorter than a god. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, literally. And so like what I try to tell my guys, like, the sooner you start training, eating, living like a pro, the easier. You have those exceptions, sure, that are just like, everybody here played with the athlete that was just like insane and just never did anything.
Right.
99% of kids are not that.
And even those guys, they plateau. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
of
Like
course,
they're,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is, Jordan and I, we both played with the guys who just had God-given talent like that, and then you never hear about them after high school or college because
Yeah.
it's like, hey,
It
it's
catches
gonna,
up.
it's going to catch up.
Yeah, so I tell my guys, like, it takes money to make money, sadly. Like, if you're just to break it down, like, if I had unlimited funds for my child to, like, make it to the next level, I'm hiring a good strength coach. We're $350 a month. That's $350. I'm hiring a nutritionist. Consultation is probably $100. That's $450. I'm hiring some kind of physio, a PT. That's anywhere from $50 to $100 easily.
Yeah.
And I'm buying high quality foods. And I'm paying for a hitting coach. That it gets to 1,000 real quick,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But it's investment in your future, right? If you really think you want to do this, it takes money to make money. Even in sports, it just does.
It does. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of hard on my athletes. Like if they show up to me in high school and they're over 20% body fat, I'm like, guys, you have to lean out.
Yeah.
You don't look the part. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you got to.
And like I've got 9-year-olds who like have families who have the means to kind of afford them the quality foods and the coaching that they need. They got shredded 6-packs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the norm should be. I
Yeah,
mean, that,
for
you know what I
sure.
mean? Like that's what kids should look like. And, but you're right. It's like, hey, it is an investment.
Yeah.
But if you're paying for those other developmental tools, maybe you don't need to be playing as much on your
For
select
sure.
team, and you're
Yeah.
saving money in that regard.
Yeah, it's all dosages. It's you got to put money in the bucket that matters at that time. And so, sure, it takes money to make money. Like, that's an extreme, you know, like, you know, you got to do this, that. But it's true, like, you know, there's a difference with these kids. Like, you look at, I was fortunate enough to see Christian McCaffrey work out at Lauren Lando's place out in Denver.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, this kid's a specimen.
Yeah.
And Lauren's like, guess how old he was when I started training him? I was like, I don't know, 14? He's like, 8. I was like, you started training this guy at 8 years old? He's like, started training him at 8 years. I trained his dad. And so I'm like, God bless. And I go, so what do you, he's like, dude. Yeah. Oh, he is. Yeah, he is.
Dude, his preparation is unreal. I mean, his training, how he takes care of his body.
Insane.
I mean, he said he was sleeping like, what, 10, 12 hours a night, like in high school to perform like that. And
it's just like, to get to where you want, it's got to be sacrifice.
Yes.
You got to sacrifice something. I'm never going to be one to say sacrifice your entire social life. But if your social life takes precedent over the development side of what you want to do, that's fine. Go be a college student. Like, I'm sure I would have had a blast being in some fraternity and
frat star, yeah.
Yeah, and some SEC. That is fun. Like, that's like I don't shame that at all. I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. But if you want to play this game, if you want to put on baseball pants like a little kid when you're 25, 26 years old, you got to make some sacrifices. That's just how it is. And I tell my guys all the time, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be anything. There is nothing cooler than being a professional baseball player.
Nothing. All those people wanted to be pro athletes.
100%. And obviously, not that it matters. If you get a group of 10 girls and you're like, doctor, lawyer, professional baseball player.
Yeah.
Professional baseball.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Like, it's the coolest thing, you know?
It is.
And so, but you got to sacrifice to get there.
Dude, Gabe, I know we can go on and on. Like, we could talk the rest of the day. We're going to have you on again. But, dude, let's go get some grub. Thank you so much for doing this right now, man.
Of course.
We had a great time talking with you. And for those listeners out there, man, a wealth of knowledge. Check out SP Performance. And then also, where can we find you on Instagram?
Solis Performance, HTX. And then we're on TikTok. I'm not too sure. I don't run any of the social media stuff. But TikTok, just look up Solis Performance, and you can find us. Yeah.
And then also the Blueprint podcast with Gabe Tuck.
You can find us on Instagram as well.
Dude, thanks so much, Gabe, for doing this.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2,